Hi everyone, welcome to Strings and Characters. Today we're going to start a part 2, part 3. We just did basic operators and Swift. We did, basics. We covered the basics, basic operators, strings. Now we on strings and characters. I'll say it's a third playlist from our work in learning Swift. So we're going to do the introduction to strings and characters. And this seems to be quite interesting because now we're getting into the deeper parts of Swift and we're going to understand a lot of things. And I believe strings and characters are important because we do a lot of things with strings. We do a lot of things with strings and we want to know how to access our strings, how to manipulate strings, and pretty much how they are structured. And the interesting thing that I like here is strings is not a data collection, because after this we're going to move into collection and types, and we're going to learn how to store things now. We're going to learn how to store different types of things. And what's interesting about collections and types is that they're not particularly strings. Eventually we're going to want to learn to store a variety of other things, types and functions and many other things like that. We're going to want to learn to store them and make use of them. So now we're going to move into strings and characters. So what is a string and what is a character? I hope the zoom level here is enough. Okay, cool. Perfect. We can still zoom again. Okay, it appears that, I think I'll just leave to this level now of zoom. Okay, strings and characters. What is a string? A string is a series of characters such as hello world, or albatross. Swift strings are represented by the string type. So let us come here and define a string. So first of all is, what is a string, right? A string, I'm trying to avoid using the the shift keyword, the shift key, because it makes a loud noise when I type on the, because I feel like the mouse is next to, not the mouse, what is this? The microphone is next to the shift character, the shift key. But anyway, it's fine. Let me not delve out of this. Okay, a string is a series of characters, right? A string is a series of characters. That's the first thing that we learn about a string. So now, what does this mean, that a string is a series of characters? We know a series is something like this. If you remember patterns and series, literally we talk about something like this when we talk about a series. Something that is closed within a thing, and then it all contains a pattern, something like that. A series. This is what comes to my mind anyway when I think of a series. So let's continue with that. Swift strings are represented by the string type. Okay, strings are represented by the string type. That's one of the things that we learn about the string. Okay, it should be a capital letter S here. The contents of a string can be accessed in various ways, including as a collection of characters and values. Right. The contents of a string can be accessed in various ways, including as a collection of, are they saying character values? Okay, those are some of the things that we learned. That means I can break down a string. I can get this 1 alone, I can get this 2 alone, I can get this 3 alone, in addition to having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can just get this specific character alone. That's how a string can be accessed, right? So we're going to be learning how to access a string as well. Okay, Swift strings and character types provide a fast Unicode compliant way to work with text in your code. The syntax for strings create a manipulation. The syntax for string creation and manipulation is lightweight and readable. Okay. And I find Swift interesting is that the more you understand Swift is the more you learn how easy it is. Because I used to think C++ is the simplest language ever. And when I look at Swift, it's pure object orientated. Everything is an object in Swift. And I thought, wow. But then the more you understand Swift is the more that you understand those objects, and life becomes more simple because you can use those objects to do amazing things, right? The syntax for string creation and manipulation is lightweight and readable. With a string literal syntax is similar. Okay, with a string literal syntax that's similar to C. String concatenation is as simple as combining two strings with the plus operator. And string manipulation is managed by choosing between a constant or a variable, just like any other value in Swift. Okay, so I like this word here, string concatenation, and how we use the plus operator to concatenate strings together. And I do know that there is something called string interpolation, and that is, I guess, string interpolation. Are we concatenating? Can I use interpolation to concatenate strings? We'll get to it. We'll also define what string interpolation is. And string mutability is managed by choosing between a constant or variable, just like any other value in Swift. You can use strings to insert constants. You can use strings to insert constants, variables, literals, and expressions into longer terms in a process known as string interpolation. Okay, you can use strings to insert. Okay, so I guess when we insert, that's when we call it interpolation. Now, what is the difference between concatenation and interpolation? It appears that with insert, the word insert is used along the lines. The word insert is used in a sentence that describes or teaches or explains interpolation. And what is this? Concatenation is used in a sentence that describes or explains combining strings. So concatenation, it appears, is combining strings. And interpolation, it appears, is the process of inserting strings. As we can see, they're used on the same sentence here. At least that's what we're going to assume for now until we get to it. This makes it easy to create custom string values for displaying, storing, and printing. Okay, makes sense. Okay, because the interesting thing, what was I thinking? Anyway, because I understand a little bit of interpolation, I can see how with interpolation we can literally insert strings into string literals. But then it appears we can do the same with concatenation. But then with concatenation, it appears that we can only... Okay, we'll get to it. Okay, my alarm is ringing. Let me turn off my alarm. Okay, cool. This makes it easy to create custom string values to display storage, and printing. Despite the simplicity of syntax, Swift's string types is a fast modern string implementation. Every string is composed of coding independent Unicode characters and provides support for accessing those characters in various code representations. Note, Swift strings. Okay, let's see this important note here. Okay, that'll be the introduction of Swift, by the way, of Swift strings and characters before we're gonna come to an end of the video of this thing here. Okay, let's see. Despite the simplicity of syntax, Swift strings type is fast. It's one of the things that we see. A modern string is fast and modern string implementation. Okay, I think we read this part here, and we were just getting to this note. Swift's string type is bridged for foundations and as string. Now, I don't know what an S string is. I know there used to be something called ANSI string. What is an ANSI string though? But those are C++ stuff, as we can see. Okay, I'm thinking C++. Sorry, I guess I got caught back to C++ for a second there. Okay, foundation also extends. Okay, I don't know what an NS string is, but we'll get to it. A foundation also extends string to expose methods defined by NS string. This means if you import foundation, you can access those NS string methods on string without casting. For more information about using string with foundation and Cocoa, see bridging between string and NS string. So I think I'll make a separate video for this. But for now, this is the introduction. So for the introduction, we just covered what is a string in Swift. And we came to learn something simple. A string is a series of characters. Simple. And Swift strings are represented with a type. Okay, maybe let me just declare a string for now. So that's what we came to learn about a string. A string is a series of characters in this. Okay, maybe we'll get to it. We'll get to it because we're gonna learn how to declare strings. This was just the introduction. Okay, thanks for tuning in, guys. See you in the next video where we're gonna learn how to declare strings and talk about string literals and define and explain what string literals are. We're gonna talk about multi-string literals and so on and so on and so on till we get to the end of this. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.